Your mountain bike suspension might be the most complicated thing to work on if you like to work on your bike at home like me. It also might be the most expensive component on your bike, so you may be a little intimidated to work on it yourself. In this video, I'm gonna go over something that you can do on your suspension at home to kind of introduce you into the world of mountain bike suspension service. What I'm talking about is volume spacers. You can add these to your fork to reduce the air volume. Basically what it does is it ramps up how much compression you have in the high end of the stroke. I think that's the best way to describe it. The high end of the stroke, the top of the stroke, or is it the bottom? Because when you bottom out, that means you're at the end of the stroke. So the end of the stroke, there we go. We'll go with the end of the stroke, whatever that means, the end of the stroke. I'm gonna go over step by step how you can add volume spacers to your fork. Hey, in case you guys are new to the channel, my name is Matt, and I like to make mountain bike videos. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tools that are needed for this job. So first you'll need a shock pump, a cassette tool, a ratchet, a breaker bar, some gloves. So we're gonna use a shock pump to release all the air from the fork instead of using a pick. Doing that, it can suck dirt into the negative air chambers, things like that. So this is the safe way to do it. Also, before you let the air out, make sure that you note what your air pressure is set to. So that way, whenever you fill your fork back up with air, you know where to go. Oh, there it is. There's the sweet spot. Okay, from this point, you can use a pick if you would like to release the rest of the air, or a small hex. You can also remove the Schrader valve if you'd like. I don't have a tool to do that, so it doesn't matter if I like to or not. Now is where we're gonna use the cassette tool to remove the top cap here. Now, if you have a RockShox, the cassette tool works perfect for it. Now, this is the parts that if you did not release all of the air from your fork, and you took this top cap off extremely fast, all that air pressure would shoot it off like a rocket. When you take this out, you may notice that your fork already has one volume spacer in it. Most forks come with one. If yours doesn't have one in it, you can start from there, but don't add more than another one for a total of 2 of these. Some people put 3 in there of these. I wouldn't advise that. Sometimes you'll see them as a smaller token. Those you can probably put 3, but these are pretty thick ones. I would only put 2. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add this on here. A little piece of something there. Remove that. I'm gonna tighten this down. When you have this out, inspect your seals, make sure everything looks good, there's no junk in there. Make sure that you don't have a lot of dirt or anything around the top here. Go ahead and clean that off before you start any of this, so that way you don't introduce any of that dirt inside. And then we're gonna take the cassette tool and we're gonna tighten this back down. Make sure you torque this to spec. Check your torque settings, user manual, whatever, website. All right, hook your shock pump back up. Make sure that your compression is all the way open on your fork before you start adding your air. And you get a pump. All right, so quick tip. Whenever you get just to about 50 PSI, remove the shock pump and then cycle your suspension a few times. And that will allow the air to equalize the chambers a little bit. All right, once you get it back to the number that you recorded before you release the air, take your shock pump off, cycle the suspension a few more times again, then check, make sure your pressure is where it needs to be. You may need to go up just a little bit after that, and then there you go. Then put your cap back on, and that's it. So now you get to go ride your bike with your new fork. Not really, it's gonna feel like a totally different fork though. All right guys, that's it. So now I'm gonna go ride the bike, see how I like it with the spacer added. I may take it out, who knows? So I'll let you know in the next video. So if you don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you have not yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.